and welcome to Baylor Game Day. It should be a great night for high school football. 68 degrees. Week number 10 of the high school football season. Second-ranked Baylor taking on 23rd-ranked Montgomery Bell Academy. A rematch of last year's title game. And welcome to Baylor Game Day. It's week number 10 of the high school football season. This is a contest tonight in Division II, AAA East. More importantly, it's second-ranked Baylor taking on 23rd-ranked Montgomery Bell Academy. And maybe more important than that, it's a rematch of last year's championship game, a title game that Baylor claimed the victory over MBA, 38-34. Baylor won that title game in the first meeting during the regular season. It was MBA with an 8-point win, 42-34. Baylor won the rematch, won the big hardware, took home the trophy at Finley Stadium last year. But this is this year. So what's on the line tonight? And it's pretty huge. A first-round bye in the TSSAA playoffs. Right now, McCallie and Baylor 1-2 in the state. Each would get a first-round bye if they win out. McCallie with a pair of road games. They take on Knox Catholic tonight at Lipscomb next week. McCallie needs one win to clinch at least a share of the championship. So an important game tonight. Baylor has a couple of jobs to do this week and next week at home against Knox Catholic next week. And of course this rematch with NBA here tonight. Baylor comes into the game 6-2 overall, 4-1 at home. And of course, they're doing well as far as the district race is going on with one loss away from number one McCallie. Here to see highlights of last week, and it was a situation where everyone honored Chris Wright in his memory. And of course, Baylor poured it on a little bit last week with an easy win over Life Christian Academy out of Virginia. That was the opening kickoff of the game, and Cam Sparks made a little bit of a statement early on. Baylor's defense was pretty impressive as well. Life Christian Academy did not get a whole lot. And thrown off your back heels, you got a receiver like that. It was an easy win, a mercy rule game. Muschamp with another touchdown. It was a big win for Baylor last week.
We are standing by with the director of competitive swimming here at Baylor, Coach Peyton Brooks. And Coach, competition and Baylor, one and the same. As I look on the wall over here, there's more state championships than I can even count. Give folks at home a sense of the tradition and the history of this program.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of history here at Baylor, not only within the state of Tennessee, but we've had a lot of past Olympians, world champions, gold medalists, world record holders. So there's a ton of really strong history with our alumni.
And I think that would enable you to attract kids who want to be a part of something successful. Let's talk about the present. You've had one meet this year. Tell me how that went, and tell me who you think will stand out this season.
Yeah, I think our first kind of kickoff meet was our club meet, and it went really well. We had a lot of new faces here in our boarding program, so it was really good for them to be able to show what they can do. And it's been really exciting. I think a few people that we're going to be able to look out for on the men's side. We have Drew Hitchcock, who just got back to us from Junior World Championships in Israel at the beginning of September, where he was 6th in the 200 fly and 7th in the 400 IM. So obviously he's going to be one to watch out for. A really good junior class coming right behind him. So it's going to be really exciting there on the boys' side. For our women, very young, really young. We don't have any seniors this year on our women's team, which is exciting. So we're building a really good foundation there for our women's team.
Give us a sense for what things they do in this pool helps them outside of the pool.
Yeah, I think swimming is one of those sports that teaches you so much discipline. It's one of those sports that really carries over to the real world. If you're able to get up and jump in this cold pool at 5:45 in the morning, you can do a lot of tough things.
Coach, good luck to you. Hope for a great season, and thanks for the time.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are standing by with the director of
A big week, Spirit Week, here on the Baylor campus. And, of course, football team would like to do their part and claim a victory here tonight. Big win last week for Baylor. Red Raiders turned back Life Christian Academy 49-10. So Baylor now 6-2 overall, losing their opening game of the season to Raymond Gap here, 35-24. They beat Seton Hall Prep in Dublin, Ireland, 42-7. Beat Stepanek here at home, 52-21. Turned back Lipscomb 34-31, went to Christian Brothers, went on the road and claimed a 48-9 win, beat Brentwood Academy 31-24, lost to McCauley on the road 34-31, had the bye week, got back in action last week, and convincingly claimed a 49-10 win over Life Christian Academy. Now, NBA this week, Knox Catholic next week. For NBA, for Montgomery Bell Academy, a little bit of a two-season look. Started out slow, losing 5 in a row, 3-5 overall. Lost to Pearl Cone in their opener, 21-14. Lost at Ensworth, 17-3. Lost to University School in Memphis, 14-10. Lost at CPA, 22-7. Beat Father Ryan, 24-20. Lost at McCauley, 35-0. Since that time, back-to-back wins with a 17-12 win over Knox Catholic and beating Lipscomb last week, 14-6. 2 or 3 things, Craig. A different team now for NBA than the beginning of the season. And
Absolutely.
the one thing you could say, they have had some problems scoring some points this year.
Boy, their points they've scored 89 points so far this season. They've given up 147 to your point. And I think really, boy, it's hard to see a team lose that many games to start the season and find a way to right the ship. They've won 3 out of their last 4. It's pretty simple what they're going to try to do tonight, folks. They're going to play the football game in a telephone booth and play keep away and find a way, if they can, to keep the Baylor's high-octane offense off the field and not lighting up the scoreboard.
Yeah, Eric Kimry kind of says the same thing in the fact he goes, the best way, and there's going to be a limited number of possessions because NBA likes to run the football. They don't have a throwing touchdown yet this year, and this is week number 10.
I think that is stunning. especially on this late in the year, that you don't have a passing touchdown. They can throw it. I don't think they can throw it deep as effectively as Baylor, without question. But shoot, they might give it to their outstanding running back, Brooklyn Davis, and just see how much clock they can chew. And that's going to require some patience from the Baylor defense. Make sure your run fits are there, and just realize this may not be a game where you get up 25 points early.
I don't think there's going to be a 25-point differential the entire night, in all honesty. I think if you take a look at what these teams do, and I think, again, there will be a limited number of possessions tonight, but Brooklyn Davis is a guy, when you watch tape, when you watch their games, he stands out. 5'11", 190, and a junior, has carried it 176 times so far this year, has 874 yards and averaging 5.5 yards per carry, 7 touchdowns so far this year.
He averages 121 yards per game. That's just on the ground. He also does a great job kick returning, almost 25 yards for every kick return. So he is certainly the main cog in the Montgomery Bell Academy offensive machine.
He's one of those that you take a look, how are you going to play him? How are you going to play him? And I talked to Eric Kimry about that. He goes, I don't know. He goes, that's why I hired Chris Brown. He goes, I'm the head coach. I'm the offensive coordinator. He says, Chris Brown does a great job. He goes, does a great job. And he goes, I let him figure out the defense. But Chris Brown, I'm sure, has taken a good look, and several looks, I would say, on Brooklyn Davis, because he is a difference maker. He's caught it 11 times, aside from those 176 carries so far this year.
Well, it's going to fall on Damani White, Quincy White, John Amofa Jr. on that defensive line to get penetration or at least containment, and you just need to make them work hard. You don't need to give up those big gash plays. That's the number one priority.
This is, no coach has ever used, happily I might add, used the term rebuilding year. But if there ever was such a thing as a rebuilding year in this level, it might be this. They were groomed to win the state championship a year ago. They were ready to win a state championship a year ago, and they thought they were going to win a state championship a year ago. And the Red Raiders had some other plans in that title game at Philly Stadium.
They certainly did. It took a late rally, but Baylor got it done, and that's certainly on the minds of Montgomery Bell Academy.
Tonight's game being made possible in part by Park Ridge Health System, 5 hospitals working together as one in the Chattanooga region. Park Ridge Health provides a full range of medical and mental health care, including sports medicine, orthopedics. If you'd like more information, just visit the website parkridgehealth.com. parkridgehealth.com. They will take care of you. And again, back to NBA very quickly. They have a legendary coach that does so many things well, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But they've been in that situation before.
They have. This game is being played according to the rules of the Tennessee Secondary School Athletic Association. These rules provide for fair competition among players. Spectators can also help to promote good sportsmanship by observing the rules of fair play. Each one is requested to take personal responsibility for keeping this game at a high level of sportsmanship.
Let's talk a little bit about the quarterback for Montgomery Bell. 6'5", 185 sophomore Hugh Price. Now, they've shared that position. They've had other players in that quarterback spot, but Price is one of those guys. At 6'5", he stands out as well.
He's big, and he's got a big target. His tight end, Luke Hutchinson, number 90, leads with 57 receiving yards per game at a tight end. So their leading receiver is a tight end, and 57 yards. I mean, there's receivers that can do that on 2 series. So you see what these numbers tell you is this is a run-first, ball control, churn the clock offense. And again, that Baylor defensive line, it's nothing new. They faced this before. It's just how well can they execute and get it done tonight.
Yeah, one of those things you talk about Hutchinson, when you use the tight end, when you use the running back, use the quarterback in a limited role. It's a pretty conservative offense, but as we said, I think NBA has to win time of possession to win the battle. That's a category they have to win because that's their whole game plan.
Absolutely.
As you mentioned, and as Eric Kimry mentioned, playing a little keep away. We got the ball. You can't score for the most part if we got the ball, and that's what they want to do. And you keep it in the hands of Brooklyn Davis and let Hugh Price make some decisions, utilize the tight end, sprinkle in the wideouts every so often. That's the formula. And if you take a look at those scores, they beat Lipscomb last week 14-6, so 14 big points there. 17 points the week before that against Knox Catholic. Didn't score against McCauley. Scored a grand total of 24 against Father Ryan. Only scored 7 against CPA, 10 against Memphis University, 3 against Ensworth, and lost their opening game, scoring only 14 points. So it's a team that's not going to put a lot of points on the board, even on a good day.
I think here's the thing, too, that you might want to think about. They're used to being in close one-score games because they don't have the offense to get up on people. But a couple of things are interesting. Their second leading rusher is the quarterback, Hugh Price. He averages 23 yards per game. Isaiah Perry, number 23, averages 10 yards per game. Defensively, they're led by Trey Woodcock. He's the senior linebacker, 7.6 tackles per game. Morgan Hosefeld, linebacker, so 5.8 tackles per game. So the linebackers, along with Jake Moore, that's really who does the damage for the Montgomery Academy's defense. Baylor stay patient. You may have it figured out early, but it's hard to be patient and panic.
That's exactly what Eric Emery said. He said, we just got to do what we do. We can spread the field a little bit more than most people. We can kind of get NBA out of what they want to do. He said, for Baylor defensively, first down is important. If we get them off schedule, force them to throw a little bit, get them into a 3rd and 7 situation where they're forced to put the football up in the air. That will make a big, big difference. Starting lineups for the Red Raiders. Let's take a look. Change on the offensive line for the Red Raiders this week, so they'll make some changes and moving Don Clifford out, putting Teague Johnson, moving him to center, and then putting Charlie Edgeworth on the offensive line. He'll get a starting spot this week. Let's talk about the Red Raiders a little bit. Can you really judge, Baylor on what they did last week? It was one of those where they did a great job, claimed a big victory, and had an easy win last week against Life Christian Academy. Now let's go down on the field. We'll have our invocation and our national anthem.
Give their very best. We ask that you would watch over them as you help us all to exemplify the highest level of sportsmanship. We ask this for the sake of your name. Amen. And go big Baylor Red.
Man, if that doesn't get you ready, I don't know what will.
That's a wow. That's
That
a wow
was
right
outstanding.
there. That's awesome. Part of Spirit Week and a rivalry game between Montgomery Bell Academy and the Baylor Red Raiders. All right, I know what coaches tell me, but I know what's reality. If you're a member of either one of these teams, you cannot help but think back to the last time they played, which was for all the marbles at Finley Stadium last December.
Oh, my gosh. And if you're Montgomery Bell Academy, you look across the field, and it's much the same team that beat you for a state championship. And Montgomery Bell Academy's Big Red is the talent is not quite equal, at least on paper. And, man, what would they love more than to come in here, sucker punch Baylor, and get the inside rail for this side of the playoff ledger. But it's going to be easier said than done.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things. The winner of this game will have the inside track for number 2. Now, what McCallie has to do, they have to win either one of their last 2 games. If they have a 1-game lead with 1 game left, they would win the tiebreaker against both Baylor and MBA. So they could end up, McCallie could, if they end up tied for first, they would still win the tiebreaker because of head-to-head competition. So let's be honest. I don't think McCallie's going to lose 2 games. They've been pretty darn good all year long. So you're playing for second place right now, playing for second place and a first place bye, and to get on the other side of the bracket of McCallie, knowing that you'll only play them for all the marbles.
For the heavyweight championship.
Yeah, in a championship game.
Yes.
So I think there's a whole lot on the line tonight. I think both these teams will be motivated, and I think, yes, maybe that rematch of last year's championship game will just be a part of the process.
And, Jim, let's don't underestimate the value of that bye week. A week off this time of year, any nicks that you have, you've got 7 days to get healthy. Also to make adjustments and take a good hard look at your opponent without, your possible opponent. So that is a huge advantage this time of year. That's something really big that I know both coaching staffs know how significant that is.
Just to get a breather this time of year, to get
Yes.
a breather every so often. Again, for bodies to heal and just another day of preparation. You might find one additional weakness or one flaw in a kicking game or one flaw in a return team defense that may make a difference in the postseason, and you're more likely to see those type of things if you get that week off. So the bye, I think, is really, really important, and of course that would give you a home game early on.
Boy, home field advantage and a week off. I mean, that there is a lot to play for.
And again, home field advantage means you're not getting on that bus and driving,
like
going
the
2.5, 3 hours.
The exact bus I saw NBA rolling into this campus on at 5 o'clock today. Yeah, that's and you stay in your routine. Nothing in your routine changes. That's a big advantage for the home team. And I think if you're Baylor, to Coach Kimmery's point, you just got to execute your offense. No one's really stopped this offense all season. So, you just have to do what you do and defensively be patient, but you have to be disciplined in your gaps and in your run fits.
I asked Coach Kimmery earlier today when we talked, I just said, in the second half, if you get a 2-possession lead, say, does that change your mind a little bit? Knowing there are going to be limited possession, he goes, yeah, it does change my mind. It means that I'm going to be in that ball control mode as well and limit the number of possessions all the way. And I said, what about NBA? They have not been a good come-from-behind team. Teams like that, they're good at getting the lead, but they're usually they struggle coming from behind. So if you fall behind by a couple of scores, it makes a difference a whole lot. They're a good ball control team. They're a good team with the lead. They're a good team protecting the lead. They're not a great team coming from behind.
Well, the way that they're going to have to, if they want to even that ledger, Jim, if Montgomery Bell Academy wants to even the ledger, they have to come up with some turnovers. That's the key. And Baylor has not turned the ball over a significant amount this year. So that, again, their number one interception leader is Walker Derryberry. He has 2 picks all year. So it's a workmanlike effort from MBA.
Yeah, Baylor's offense only turned it over 7 times so far this year. Again, you ask any coach, they'll talk about 2 things: turnovers and kicking game. Any game, anywhere,
Absolutely.
anytime, any league, any age group. If there's a lot of turnovers, you don't have a good chance.
Boy, Cooper Cowan is just fantastic for Baylor. Now, in pregame warm-ups, we watched number 99, Liam Hackett, and he hit one from 55 yards out without a rush. So they've certainly got some octane there to play with as well.
See the captains for the Red Raiders, including Max LeBlanc and Whit Muschamp, Josh Hampton. Captains for the Red Raiders tonight. And Nelson McKnight, number 16, the linebacker. So there's your 4 captains for the Red Raiders. And, of course, they had on the scoreboard, as they usually do, go Baylor, go Big Red. And, of course, the nickname of NBA is Big Red. So
that works both ways tonight.
They worried about that in just a moment. I said, I think everyone will understand. I think they'll get it how it goes. There's a little sportsmanship before the game. A lot of these guys end up knowing each other well. Maybe they played on other baseball, travel league teams, or played against each other. Social media days, you all kind of know each other. Showing them the coin. I can figure out heads and tails. And let it fall. So NBA won the toss, and they are going to defer. That means Baylor will get the football first, and that's what Eric Kimry would have wanted anyway. But again, these two coaches, I would say Eric Kimry's attack mode is about 24/7. And of course, as we talked about, a legendary coach, the head coach of the Big Red, 24th season as a head coach, 13th at NBA. He was also at BGA, Jefferson County, won a state championship when he was at Murfreesboro, Oakland, won a state championship in 2014 with NBA, and already a member of the Tennessee Coaches Hall of Fame. So already a pretty good resume, I would say.
Heck yeah. And Jim, I don't know if Baylor's done this in every game this year, but it seems like every game that we've done this year, they've scored on this opening possession. So they love to start with the football.
Yeah. When they've won the toss, they've taken the football. When the other team's deferred, they've gotten the football. So, and they don't mind, especially scoring early, getting that lead, sitting on that lead. That's another.
And they don't mind throwing deep on the first play of the game either.
Yeah. And here are the second-ranked Baylor Red Raiders. This is the Max Preps Top 25. They have Macaulay 1, Baylor 2, Alcoa number 3, Memphis University number 4, followed by Germantown, then Murfreesboro, Oakland. Bradley County is at number 7 in the state, Knox West 8, Brentwood number 9, and Germantown, Houston of Germantown number 10. We can go on to Lipscomb number 11, Bearden of Knoxville number 12, Ensworth 13, Pearl Cone 14, Murfreesboro Riverdale 15, and CPA, Christ Presbyterian in Nashville, number 16 in the country, Maryville number 17. So, you know, you take a look at that top 25, and then you take a look at the schedules for both these teams. They have accomplished something, even though, as we talked about, NBA's lost a few, lost to Pearl Cone, statewide ranked, lost to Ensworth, statewide ranked, lost to Memphis University and CPA. Those are all ranked teams, and there are other losses to Macaulay. So they have not lost to a team that is not mentioned among the top 25 in the state of Tennessee so far this year.
And as we start things tonight, two big guns back to receive for Baylor. Number 7, Amari Jefferson, and number 17, Cam Sparks.
That's called choose your poison right there.
I'm telling you.
You know what I do? I think I kick it out of bounds. Kick it short. Because you get those two speedsters. When they're the first one in the game that touched the football, that has been good news for Baylor. Kicking it deep, and it will not be returned. And
Great kick.
Yeah. That's what you want to do. And more, even in the high school ranks, are able to do just that. Johnson, Clifford, Edgeworth, Rose, and Bryson on the offensive line for the Red Raiders as we're underway in this Division II AAA contest. Starting at the 20, first down, 10 yards to go. Just underway here at Haywood Stadium on a nice football night. Muschamp goes from the gun with a single setback standing next to him. Throwing on the first play of the game. Complete to LeBlanc for good yards. Found a little bit of a hole in the middle and said, you know what? That's a 20-yard pickup on first down.
That was entirely too easy. LeBlanc made a move to his left and then cut hard right, and there was a hole in that defense. The result, 20 yards on first down.
So they go right to the middle on the first play of the game and pick up 20 from their own 20 to their own 40, and that's another Baylor first down. Just underway here, first possession of the game for the Red Raiders. 2 receivers left, 2 right, naked backfield, and a quarterback draw. Muschamp slung down, but he picks up about 6 yards in doing so.
And how about that?
Have we seen a quarterback draw this year?
We've seen a couple. Well, maybe not out of an empty backfield.
Yeah.
They put Shakai Mills-Knight to the far right side of that formation, and they went empty, and another solid decision by Whit Muschamp.
How many times have we said that? He has made so many. Craig and I were talking before the game. He has made so many good decisions. His number one asset. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Going up the middle, quick hitter. That should be another first down, breaking a tackle and picking up more. Moving into Big Red territory at around the 47, 48-yard line. To put it at the 48.
And they go no huddle here. Shakai Mills-Knight with a strong, powerful run, well blocked by that Baylor offensive line.
And yards after contact, got about 3 or 4 more, and another Baylor first down. First and 10 Red Raiders. Shakai Mills-Knight, I think he has gotten better and better as the season's going on. Muschamp, play action. Wants to throw, got all day. Throws it near sideline, and Cam Sparks can't bring it in.
Great effort. He wanted Shakai Mills-Knight, but NBA had that snuffed out. He went deep, and it was incomplete.
Well, we were talking about a little bit of a revamped offensive line, but Muschamp had plenty of time to pick out a target, put it up in the air that time. You give a quarterback that much time. If he's going to have that much time all night long, you talk about good decisions, picking someone apart. I guess the reason he had time, possibly.
Ineligible man downfield.
Gotcha. So not a holding call, as I assumed. You know what assume means? It means you're wrong. 5-yard penalty. 2nd and 15 on the ineligible. He had so much time. Offensive lineman snuck downfield a little bit too far. 2 receivers left. So Rastelli on the far side, all the way on the top of your screen. And then Cam Sparks. LeBlanc, number 11. Omari Jefferson, bottom of your screen, number 7. Muschamp from the gun. Play action again. Swings it out. Needs 1 block. Gets 1 and then gets back to the line of scrimmage. So he picks up the 5 yards that they lost by the penalty a moment ago.
Good patience that time by Whit Muschamp. A nice block by Zane Rastelli, number 2, to spring Cam Sparks for 5.
Here's what I know. Coaches love receivers that block. They love that.
And they block on this team.
Yeah, they do. That's the old, you block, you usually get rewarded, right? Usually get the ball,
Yes.
you get their number called. Don't block, guess what happens? You're by me. Play action again. Same play near side, this time to Jefferson. Breaks 1, breaks 2. Breaks an ankle near side, down to the 31-yard line. Baylor able to overcome the penalty and pick up a first down.
A couple of great cuts, speed, awareness of where you are on the football field. Omari Jefferson, we've seen it all season long.
You don't think people get on their heels when Jefferson comes? And
Sure.
he puts that 1 move on him, blows by, picks up another 7 yards. Shakai Mills-Knight, they've used him as a decoy so far tonight, but he's going to get one soon, I would think. Play action again. Muschamp with time again and room again. Can he outrun those 2 guys? Yeah, down. Well, that was almost a late hit down to the 29-yard line. Picks up about 5 yards, about 4 or 5 on first down. They only
Jim,
give him the 30.
He wanted Amari Jefferson deep on that play. And let's credit Henry Huber. He has drawn the assignment of having to deal with number 7. He got fooled on a double move that time, but it was just too slow to develop on the offensive line side, and Muschamp took it himself.
But he's had time for those double moves to develop most of the time, at least in this first series. No score yet. Series number 1 of the night. 2 good old-fashioned rivals. NBA and Baylor obviously split their 2 games a year ago. Muschamp, a little low snap, swings it out near side. LeBlanc, complete, 25, down to about the 22, which I believe is going to be enough for a Baylor first down. Had to get across, had to get inside the 24 for the first down. And I think they're to give him the 23. I still think that's a first down.
Jim,
Yes,
we talked
it
about
is.
NBA running some clock. So far, Baylor has done that on their opening drive. They've churned off almost 4 minutes in this quarter.
The NBA hasn't touched the football yet. High snap, there's Shakai Mills-Knight right up the gut. But Baylor does it in a different way. When they want ball control, they're going to go short passes and then mix in a long one. NBA, when they do it, they're going to do it strictly on the ground.
Let's credit number 48 for NBA, Trey Woodcock. Solid from his linebacker spot. Made a key play there to stop Shakai Mills-Knight for a minimal gain.
This is death by 1,000 cuts right now. Mills-Knight stands on the right side. Muschamp to throw. Puts it near side, and it's caught on the out. And he catches it, mark it down at the 8-yard line, where it'll be first down and goal.
Max LeBlanc, we say it every week, he finds where he needs to be, and he holds on to the football.
Puts Baylor in the red zone. I guess it's all red zone tonight, though, right? And in scoring position inside the 10. So first and goal at the 8. NBA shows blitz. Let's see if the linebacker's coming. He's not. Shakai Mills-Knight right up the gut, maybe to the 6-yard line for a pickup of 2. So it'll be second and goal from the 6. Opening possession of the game for the Red Raiders. They've moved from their own 20. I think Max LeBlanc wants a little equipment problem for a second. That's the reason for the delay. Second down and goal. Let's call it the 7-yard line. Mills-Knight gets the call, goes wide, stops, dives forward. I don't think he's in, but he's pretty darn close.
So many times we've seen this season Max LeBlanc set the edge on that right side. He did that time, and that was one of the main reasons that Shakai Mills-Knight is inside the 2.
Yeah, Mills-Knight did some of that by himself, but he had some help, enabling him to cut it upfield. Now trying to get into the end zone. You might have 2 downs to do this here early on. Muschamp hands it off. Mills-Knight, there he is, standing up in the end zone. 6 points for the Red Raiders, opening possession, and an 80-yard drive and a touchdown.
They brought everybody to that right side, and they brought another receiver in motion, and they just muscled their way into the end zone.
All you need was a yard. So Baylor scores at the 6:27 mark. Mills-Knight.
Almost 6 minutes off the clock.
Pretty impressive. Let's go 5:33. And the extra point for the Red Raiders is good. So 80 yards on, I've had 13 plays. 80 yards, 13 plays, 5:33 time of possession. Opening possession of the game. And again, you're Baylor, you grab a lead, you put NBA in their uncomfort zone. Watch Shakai Mills-Knight.
They brought everybody to that right side, the Blanc and Ben Darnell, and Shakai Mills-Knight does the rest.
Standing up. It's the best way to get in the end zone.
Absolutely.
I'm just telling you. Standing up. So as NBA won the toss and opted to defer, what they didn't want was to have the Baylor go the distance and score a touchdown on their opening possession of the game.
And now, Jim, to your point that we've talked about in the pregame, quarterback Hugh Price and running back Brooklyn Davis, they're already 7 points behind. They've got to be patient, but they've got to chew up some first downs on this opening possession.
Like I said,
at the very least.
This is a team that has not scored a lot of points so far this year. 3-5, but they felt like I said, the only teams they've played, the only teams they've lost to have been ranked in the top 25 in the state. Kickoff will be returned from about the 2-yard line. Pretty good pop right there, and that is Brooklyn Davis.
Yes.
You're going to see, get ready to see number 21 a lot.
Junior running back, he is their main offensive force in the backfield.
Yeah, they're going to find different ways to get him the football. Most of the time, they'll hand it off to him, but he has 11 receptions so far this year. So we talked last week. We talk almost every week. Football, what's your deal? Get the ball in the hands of the playmaker, and Brooklyn Davis is by far and away the best playmaker for this Big Red football team. From the gun on first down. Dropping straight back. Nice pass and catch that time.
Hutton Durrett with the catch, found the soft spot in the defense. That's an easy pitch and catch.
So he gets across the 30 up to the 33-yard line, an 11-yard gain on first down, and it's 1st and 10 once again.
We talked about them needing to churn out some first downs. Mission accomplished on play 1.
Hugh Price kind of stands out. Only a sophomore, 6'5", 185. He'll gain 20 more pounds the next couple of years, I bet. Wants to throw long, and it's overthrown and incomplete.
Price did a great job, Jim, of hiding that football.
Yes.
Great, sold the fake well. He just overshot his man. He was in double coverage. Didn't fool the Baylor defense at all.
Going after Durrett once again. Slightly overthrown at 2nd down and 10, but taking a shot, coaches will tell you.
Why not?
Yeah, you take a shot, you go vertical every so often, you loosen things up a little bit, so Baylor cannot creep up as close to the line of scrimmage if there's at least that threat of going long, of going vertical, and they do so on their second play of the game. Davis, the single setback with a man in motion. Set up the screen far side, and
my goodness.
incomplete. What happened? I'll tell you exactly what happened. He didn't look it all the way in.
I was going to say he
was
looked
looking
upfield.
upfield and wanted to see who was going to hit him, and took his hand off, or took his eyes off the football. Took his hand off the football too, apparently.
And what number 21 knew was he had a lot of ground wide open. If he had just hung on to that football, that would have been an easy conversion. As a result, it brings up 3rd down and 10.
Everyone knows, am I going to get hit hard if I catch this football? Take your eyes off for just a second. Wide receivers each side. Baylor shows blitz, but good protection. Nice arm. And incomplete.
Flag thrown in the direction of the backfield.
Noah Miles, defending on the play, did a pretty good job. Let's see if he might have gotten there a tick too soon.
Hold. It's going to be declined. We talk about Noah Miles and Josh Hampton every week, and many times, Jim, they are in single coverage on an island. They answer the bell, and they did that time.
Yeah, how many times are they targeted, you know? And coaches tell you all the time, they're going to catch passes. If they catch one, make sure you bring them down quickly. Don't let them sidestep and move down the field, but pretty darn good coverage right there. So the Big Red, they get 1 first down, no more, and will be forced to punt from their own 33-yard line. Baylor should get decent field position here. That's a great kick. Wow. Wow.
Special teams.
And look at that.
What a fantastic kick and a bounce. Just what the doctor ordered. That is fantastic execution by Montgomery Bell Academy.
I got that as a 60. A 60-yard punt.
I think that will get it done. That's Walker Derryberry, who also plays defense.
He's a backup quarterback as well. Yeah, you boom at 60. You'll take that. Like I said, I thought Baylor would get decent field position. As it is, not so decent. Jim Reynolds, Craig Cecil here on Spirit Week. Baylor already with a 7-0 lead, 1 for 1 for the Red Raiders. 1 possession, 1 touchdown. 5:19 to play in quarter number 1. Muschamp. Pass complete, but
Threw that to Cam Sparks. Timing was a little bit off on that one.
and the pursuit was good.
Yes.
So completed the pass and no gain. 2nd and 10 from the 7 on the
All
completed
this
pass.
set up by that 60-yard punt. The
Yes.
third of the game known as special teams.
That everyone ignores until it goes either really good or really bad. Muschamp. Like I said, most schools call that sugar. I'm going to go to the line, see what I see, then I'm going to go take a look. Wow. That ball came back there in a hurry. Remember, there's a new center this week. Muschamp made the decision, I'm just going to go forward, breaks a tackle, and picks up about 5 yards. You almost had disaster because that was a fastball that came back there.
He had Zane Rastelli over there, but the timing just wasn't right, and I think Witt made another sharp, smart decision. Just take what you can get
And pick up 6.
and pick up and live to fight again on third down.
Third down, about 4. Again, I use the term manageable all the time. He could have had a second down or third down and 10. Instead, he uses his legs to make it a manageable third down and 4. Muschamp, middle of the field, bobbled for a moment by LeBlanc, brings it in, got the first down and more.
That's the exact same play they ran on their opening possession. LeBlanc finding the soft spot in that zone, the middle of the field. It's one cut, upfield, first down.
18-yard pickup for the Red Raiders, and they're going to go quickly right here. Already with a 7-0 lead. They bunch the 3 receivers far side. Muschamp with time. Throws it long, far side wide. Has a receiver. In stride. Middle of the field, Amari Jefferson. You're not going to catch him. He coasts on in. Amari Jefferson, touchdown in double figures. That's number 10 of the year for the Alabama commit, Amari Jefferson.
69 yards on that. The bunch formation at the top, and then they split. Muschamp waited and threw a floater and waited for number 7 to reel it in. He did. Hit the gas. Touchdown.
Yeah, when you got speed like that, yeah, you can play with them at the end, right? you can slow it down, say, come try and get me. Red Raiders now 2 of 2. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns, very different styles. Touchdown 1 was a 1-yard run from Shakai Mills-Knight. Touchdown number 2, a 69-yard pass from Muschamp to Amari Jefferson. And the Red Raiders on the board for a second time, scoring at the 3:15 mark of the first quarter. Well, 93-yard drive that time. Took them 4 plays. And
That first possession was death by 1,000 cuts. The second possession was here comes the haymaker. Here you see the separation, acceleration, and then the celebration when Amari Jefferson gets into the end zone. That is entirely too easy. We've seen that before.
I think Amari Jefferson just might make it look easy.
What a beautiful pass by Witt Muschamp. Had
Right
to
in
float
stride.
it, left some air under it, let number 7 reel it in, and take it to the house.
93 yards, 4 plays, 2:04 time of possession. 2 for 2 Red Raiders, and it's a 14-0 lead in this rematch of last year's state championship game, won by the Red Raiders there as well. At the goal line. Nice run across the 20 up to the 25.
Solid. That's his average, 25 yards per return. Brooklyn Davis took that thing right at the 1 and made positive yardage for Big Red. Boy, Jim, if you're NBA, you're sitting here going, we haven't played badly. We've had great special teams. We're down 14-0.
A team that struggles to score 14 points a game. So
Yes.
think about that. They won last week 14-6, won the week before 17-12, and were shut out by Macaulay the week before that. So it's a team that really does just struggle to score points. But that guy can do it.
And that is the textbook run for number 21. Solid, right between the tackles, up the middle, yards after contact, falling forward. Clock continues to run.
Now we're going to see the replay of that about 20 more times
Yes,
tonight, right?
yes.
About 20.
Yes, we are.
He'll get his 20 carries and maybe get the football in his hands and a couple of pass plays as well. He'll touch it 25 times a night, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Second down for the Big Red. Overloading left side, moving both of those tight ends. And Davis slowed down a bit. Look at that. You don't get him down on that first tackle many times.
Solid balance, falling forward. They move the chains. Boy, when you saw them move those two tight ends to that left side, you had the feeling that that's where the play was going, but 21 had other ideas. Great vision that time.
Tyler Rice making the tackle for the Red Raiders. They move it up to the 39-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Big Red. 14-0 lead for the Red Raiders right now. Baylor has scored on their first 2 possessions of the night. I'm still disappointed. Remember, they had 42 points in the first quarter last week, and a measly 14 so far tonight.
It's a little bit different ball game this week.
Oh, okay. 4-man front. Pass complete, far sideline, I believe. Yes. Yes. Nope.
Is that complete?
I
No.
thought it was for a moment, then they said no.
A little too much sizzle on that one from Hugh Price, looking for Hutton Durrett.
Now, Durrett's already shown himself. He's got some talent. 2nd and 10 on the incomplete pass. Yeah. 2nd and 10 at the 39-yard line. The Big Red from Montgomery Bell Academy. Had a stellar season a year ago. 3 on the line of scrimmage and 4. And they changed at the last moment. He read the blitz, completed the pass, and the Big Red move into Red Raider territory
What
around
a
the
great-
48 or 49-yard line.
What a great offensive call, Jim, against a blitz. Baylor went right up that A-gap. They had the perfect play called, and it's another first down.
Yeah, Joe Lowenberg from his linebacker spot went up the gut and got to the quarterback, and that's one of those you give Hugh Price, sophomore quarterback, some credit. He knew he was going to take a hit, extended himself, completed the pass for another first down, now at the Baylor 49-yard line. Second drive of the night for NBA. Play action. Got a pretty good arm, doesn't he?
Put some sizzle on that one. That's a solid catch. That was a heater that Hutton Durrett had to deal with. One more thing, Jim. They faked to Brooklyn Davis, and they sent him just past the line in the middle of the field. That was the second option that was wide open as well.
Well, when you fake to Davis, you just have to pay attention to that. I mean, that's something you can't take your eyes off that. Rusty Wright at Chattanooga, the head coach of the Mocs, says all the time, your eyes have to be at the right place. Your eyes have to be looking in the right direction. So 1st and 10, NBA showing some signs of life. 2 receivers left as it ends up 2 right. Going to keep and hit in the backfield and drop. What a nice defensive play that time by Grady Joyner.
And what a strange decision by quarterback Hugh Price. Stick that in number 21's gut and let him do the damage.
Grady Joyner read it well. That's textbook tackle right there.
And that's probably the final play of the first quarter. You would think that NBA would let this clock run out and take the between period time to basically a timeout, a free timeout.
There's 2 seconds left. Don't get the snap off, and so quarter number 1 ends with Baylor owning a 14-0 lead, although the Big Red of NBA on the march right now. Baylor's had 2 possessions in the first quarter and scored on both of them. Opening possession of the game, Baylor took it at the 20, went 80 yards in 13 plays using 5:33 time of possession. Shakai Mills-Knight gets into the end zone on a 1-yard gash. Gets into the end zone for Mills-Knight. Touchdown number 8 of the year for him. And then the exact opposite on the next scoring drive for the Red Raiders. 93 yards, 4 plays, 69-yard pass in stride from Muschamp to Amari Jeffries for a 69-yard touchdown reception. That made it 14-0, and that's where we are right now as the first quarter comes to an end. So Montgomery Bell Academy took this possession, starting at their own 26-yard line on a Brooklyn Davis return from the goal line to the 26. Now they move to the Baylor 39-yard line. Second down. Price to throw. In a crowd, he was hit from behind as he threw, and the ball didn't make it to the intended receiver.
Damani Wright, pressure from his defensive end spot. They brought in another tight end, Fletcher Shirley, for more protection. They did not get it done on that play.
Shirley, the number 2 tight end, but adds some bulk and blocking ability to that Big Red attack. But they still got to the quarterback. Price hit from behind as he threw the football and didn't hit the target. Big third down play right here. Price goes from the gun, sends the tight end in motion. Rolls out far side, underneath on the slip screen. How about that hit? Ouch.
Nelson McKnight introduces himself to Hutton Durrett. They brought Hutton in motion. He looked like he was going wide, cut back to the middle of the field, and number 16, Nelson McKnight, was there to bring the wood.
McKnight is so solid at that linebacker spot. Linebacker spot gives you a chance to make plays like that. He read it well, wouldn't let his man escape, made the perfect tackle again, and Big Red able to convert, so no points right here. And
Walker Derryberry now, he boomed a 60-yard punt. Now, Jim, he's got to play a little wedge shot here inside the 10 or the 5, hopefully.
Yeah. Let's see what his short game's like, right? We know he's got the
We
driver.
know he's got the long game. Yep.
He stands right at the 50 and puts that one up in the air. Fair catch called for, but they let it bounce. Take a roll and roll dead somewhere around the 10 or 11-yard line.
That's solid coverage by Montgomery Bell Academy.
One of the best punters you and I have ever seen, Pumpy Tutors.
Yes.
Pumpy said, when I was punting, and of course he was with the Philadelphia Eagles for a while, he said, it was all about height. Height, hang time. We didn't care if it rolled, this and that and the other. It was all about height, getting a chance for your players to get underneath. So Baylor takes over early second quarter with a 14-0 lead. Muschamp. Near side, Cam Sparks makes the reception, catch number 29 of the season for the junior.
Boy, and that play looks like it's there all night. Harrison Dawkins just playing too far off of him. He has to, and Muschamp was able to sniff that out. That's an easy completion, and that moves the chains.
About a 17-yard gain. Mills Knight. Quick trap right up the middle that time. Trying to go quickly and get that quick hole. Gets across the 30 to about the 32. About a 4-yard gain on first down. 2nd and 6 for the Red Raiders, who already own a 14-0 lead. Mills Knight has gone the distance at running back so far. Muschamp, that's a design keep, I believe.
Boy, and how about that? They brought Max LeBlanc in motion. Muschamp took it himself. Maybe the first time we've seen that look this season.
Well, if you can still go into pages of your playbook you haven't seen yet. About 4 yards to go for the Red Raiders on third down. Sparks, right. Jefferson left. Jefferson makes the catch.
Boy, and how about that?
And he got the first down.
Muschamp had to wait for Jefferson to turn, and the minute he did, that was a dart.
Caught it, knew exactly where.
And I don't.
Wow.
Jim, I don't know.
He's got it.
They're going to move it.
I was going to say, he had to get
Close.
to the 38. I thought he was at the 40. They spotted it at the 39, and still enough for a Red Raider first down.
Harrison Dawkins has a tough job. He's playing way off because he has to for NBA.
Mills Knight cuts it back up the middle against the grain for a moment and gets to midfield.
That's probably coming back. There's a flag thrown in the direction of the offensive line.
So Mills Knight got to midfield, but the officials are making the Red Raiders put it in reverse right here. Mills Knight with a touchdown run so far tonight, and Amari Jefferson has a touchdown reception so far tonight. This is possession number 3 for the Red Raiders after they have touchdowns on their first 2 possessions of the night. Holding call, as you can see.
They're going to call Teague Johnson on that.
Teague Johnson at the center position this evening. Redid the offensive line in a couple of spots. But Muschamp has had time to throw, so I would say if you're Eric Kimry / the offensive coordinator for the Red Raiders, you're not too upset with the job that offensive line has done so far tonight. Mills Knight trying to go wide. Can he turn the corner? No, he cannot.
Boy, one of the few times we've seen a Baylor receiver miss a block on the outside to set that edge. That time it was Zane Rastelli. Just couldn't shadow his man, and they were able to snuff that play out.
That's one of those good job of the Big Red, just stringing that out, making him go wide, wide, wide. Never found a spot to just put his foot in the dirt and cut it upfield.
Nate Holder, number 2, is drawing a tough assignment here. He's looking at Amari Jefferson and Cam Sparks. He's in a zone defense.
High snap, throwing it down the run, finds a receiver. He was ready to turn it upfield, and the receiver has the first down and more.
That's Zane Rastelli, read that zone defense, got in the easy open spot, a solid throw by Muschamp. You turn it upfield, you go, and you go from 2nd and long to 1st and 10.
They had all the wide receivers and the tight end left, sent Rastelli right. Muschamp spotted him at the last moment, and on the run, made a perfect throw. Mills Knight in the backfield, breaks a tackle once, spins away again. You know what? That's a pretty darn good 6-yard gain.
It is. Nate Holder drew a beat on him, just wrapped up, but couldn't close it tight enough, and Shakai Mills Knight turned that into more positive yardage.
Gets to the 39-yard line. This will be the 8th play of this drive. Muschamp, middle of the field, has a receiver. Max LeBlanc with a catch and brings it all the way down to the 5-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Red Raiders, somewhere around the 5.
Max has done his job in film study this week. He has found a way to find the soft spot in that defense all night long.
Yeah, the hole is in the, it's the big donut hole. Middle of the field, and LeBlanc has taken advantage. And this time, got it down to the 4-yard line. 1st and goal from the 4. Muschamp. Mills Knight already with 1 touchdown tonight. Gets maybe a yard to the 3. So 1st and goal from the 4. 2nd and goal from the 3. Eric Kimry knows 21 points has been enough to beat NBA most games this season. They have a hard time putting points on the board and rarely score even into the 20s. So touchdown here would be big. Muschamp takes a look. Mills Knight, like I said, is going the distance at that running back spot. And he'll get the ball again. And this time, gets into the end zone once again.
Nothing flashy, very effective.
He looked like he cruised on in for his 2nd touchdown of the night. First one was a 1-yarder. This one was a 3-yarder. And the Red Raiders an extra point away from taking a 21-0 lead.
So you overcome a serious holding penalty that time. That's entirely too easy. Key play was the big pass to Rastelli, followed by Max LeBlanc, just scissoring up that defense.
Cooper Cowan's extra point is a good one. 21-0. Red Raiders, as I said, 3 for 3 so far tonight. Mills Knight, 1-yard run. Muschamp to Amari Jefferson, 69 yards, touchdown number 2. And Shakai Mills Knight with his 2nd touchdown of the night. And for Mills Knight, his 9th rushing touchdown of the season. I have the Red Raiders going 89 yards, 10 plays.
And all the red shirts you see, they just moved the folks in front of them into the end zone, and Shakai Mills Knight followed. What did you get on that, Jim? How many plays?
10 plays, 89 yards, 6:54, 4:02 time of possession. So the Red Raiders, the first drive was 13 plays, second drive was 4 plays, and this drive was in the middle of those two at 10. And it's a 21-0 lead for the Red Raiders.
And if you're NBA, realistically, you got to be saying, man, we just can't get the gun loaded here.
It'll be returned by Davis to the 20. Spin move and up to the 30-yard line.
Boy, he is solid.
He's talented, isn't he?
He is solid. 21 is a baller.
He's one of those that's fun to watch.
Really
Just fun
is.
to watch.
Physical and holds on to the football.
And again, he's one of those guys, he's on the football field, your eyes are on him. It's like, my at-bats when I was in Little League. No one was leaving when JR went up there. Strikeout or bunt. That's what
That's
they
right,
say.
one or the other. Pick your poison.
So let's see if they stay in the comfort zone. I'm not abandoning yet. Mr. Davis, you're about to get a workout, I think.
He's offsides. They're going to move that back 5.
Yeah, there's movement.
I think it was 21.
Yeah, I do too. He had the snap count wrong. That was Brooklyn Davis, the guy we were just talking about, saying he's fun to watch, except when he moves pre-snap. So that's.
First down and 15.
Back at the 26-yard line. You feel like if you're an NBA, this is what I'm thinking. You got to get a score before the end of the half.
Of some kind. Even a field goal.
I didn't say that.
Number one, you have to keep possession of this football. Give
Yes.
your defense a breather.
Yes. Brooklyn Davis. Make something happen, Brooklyn. He got the penalty back. So he cost him 5 on the penalty and got the 5 back on the first down play.
Weaving in between the defensive line that time. Solidly blocked play by his teammates.
I'm going to call it a gain of 6. Give him the benefit of the doubt. Second down and 9 at the 32-yard line. 21-0 lead for the Red Raiders. Not too many folks, including McCauley, I would say, have stopped that Baylor offense yet this year. Am I right? You agree?
True.
You concur?
Absolutely.
Second down and 9 for the Big Red. This is what we're going to see. Sweep near side. Penalty flag goes down. This might be coming back on a hold.
They might call
Number 90.
Luke Hutchinson
Yeah, I agree.
for a block in the back or a hold. Yeah, he got a little too frisky on that one.
Tried to seal that edge
really
and give his
did.
running back an opportunity.
And,
but
and honestly, so many times, Jim, he really didn't need to. Brooklyn Davis was about to run right past him.
yeah, he was. How many times you look at those penalties, especially those kind of holding calls, go, you know what? He didn't need that block at all. That was already in his dust. So 2nd and 15, or maybe 14. Holds on to it for a while before he gives it to Davis. Ow.
My goodness.
Davis doesn't go down easily that time.
Joel Lowenberg, he's playing like his hair is on fire. He came on with a quickness. What a burst by number 4.
Lowenberg and McKnight have had good games already from their linebacker positions. A strength of that defense to begin with. Up to the 33-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and about 8. 3rd down and 8. Red Raiders on defense. Big Red with the possession. One receiver left to right. Price, does he feel the backside? Yes, he does. Throws it on the run. Bobbled, and they're going to say no. He might have caught it, but he might have caught it out of bounds.
Boy, what a great effort by Quincy White And a fantastic effort at the other end by number 25, Tyler Rice.
Tyler Rice has had a couple of big plays already this evening.
Hutton Durrett disappointed. 2 hands on the football. He should have had that catch.
And he's a pretty good player. He's a pretty good receiver.
He is.
I was watching some of the other tape on the Big Red against Ensworth and against Brentwood Academy. He's a receiver. He can play. This might be the most valuable player for NBA so far tonight, the punter. I don't mean that in jest either. He's flipped the field and what? Look at that kick.
Boy, and to your point, solid, number 1, solid hands by Tyler Rice. 2, air, height, position. From the punter, Walker Derryberry.
Well, already time tonight we've seen a big roll that's made a big difference in field position. You can make that fair catch. Head coach of the Red Raiders. 211 career victories. 211-24. 211 wins, 24 losses, 17-4 as the head coach of the Red Raiders.
And Jim, you talked about NBA feeling like they had to have a touchdown before the half. Here's what you're looking at the opposite end of the barrel here. Baylor is wide open, full speed ahead with 4:49 left in this half.
If nothing else. Running room.
I think there is something else.
If nothing else, just using some time and not giving NBA an opportunity to get their hands on the football back would be big. I think you get any more points.
I mean, not many possessions for NBA. It's hard to get a rhythm when you're not on the field very long.
Second down, a couple after an 8-yard pickup. From the gun, Muschamp, 2 receivers left. Boy, that's happened a couple of times tonight. That throws off your whole timing. And you know what? You talk about making good decisions.
That was one.
That's a really good decision. It goes for an over, an incompletion. But you know what?
But it's also not a turnover.
You come back on 3rd down and a couple, and you still have the possession. You didn't take a sack. You didn't do anything stupid, put ball up for grabs, and just threw it out of bounds.
That's the second high snap, at least the second we've seen tonight, and that really can throw off the timing, as you saw there.
There's a new center, T. Johnson at the center spot tonight, replacing Don Clifford. Clifford's move over to the right tackle position. Ineligible downfield, so a penalty flag against the Red Raiders to move it back. So it'll be 2nd down and 7. Penalty accepted. This NBA team, they are solid. I'm not sure they have the firepower they did a year ago or the firepower that Baylor has. Over the middle, look at that, breaking a tackle. He had no business breaking that tackle. How about that? Cam Sparks. Nice catch, holds on, takes the pop, does a lot of that on his own.
Yes. And they move the chains.
Overcoming the penalty again. I think they've overcome a penalty on every drive so far.
Jim, if you don't get any more pressure than that on Whit Muschamp, it's just going to be a long evening.
He's going to pick you apart.
He is going to pick you apart.
To the 36 for a 1st down. From the near hash mark. Over the middle once again. Amari Jefferson in the open field. Look out here. Shoved out of bounds at the 20.
Boy, that time, Jim, NBA thought they had pressure. They brought heat from the right side. Muschamp knew it, went right to the middle. Again, the middle of the field. Jefferson on a cross. Huge gain for the Red Raiders.
Baylor goes from their own 36 all the way down to the Big Red 20. 1st and 10. Muschamp, naked backfield. Now sends one in motion. Play action. He fouls his blocker, cuts it upfield. So a designed run. Everyone's looking at Jefferson and Rosselli near side. LeBlanc.
Trey Woodcock was not fooled. Played his position, stayed in his gap, and made a solid tackle.
be a loss of about a half yard, but another penalty against the Red Raiders, so move it back again. Back to the 25, and it's 1st and 15. First and 15, play action. There's Jefferson with the blocker in front of him. Can't shed him that time. That's a good open field tackle by the Big Red that time. You got Amari Jefferson, you got a one-on-one assignment. You've done a pretty good job of bringing him down to the ground.
Yes.
Without being part of the highlight tape. Just a gain of a yard, so it's going to be 2nd down and 14. Baylor has to get to about the 10 to pick up the 1st down. Under 3 minutes to play in the first half. Send Sparks in motion. Another high snap. Muschamp rolls out. Rolls back. Throws, fires, end zone. How about that? How about that? Amari Jefferson makes the reception in traffic. And I'll say this. Jefferson made the play, but Cam Sparks, there's 17 right there. He threw a block that allowed Muschamp to come back to his left, set his feet, and throw that strike.
Absolutely. Looked like double, maybe even triple coverage, and Muschamp knew where he was going with a football the minute he squared those shoulders.
2:39. Shakai Mills-Knight, 2 touchdowns tonight. Amari Jefferson, 2 touchdowns so far tonight. Flag down in the extra point. Red Raiders going 76 yards in 5 plays in overcoming a couple of penalties. 24-yard TD pass to Amari Jefferson. Jefferson now 11 touchdown receptions for the year. It was 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So the drives for the Red Raiders, the first one was long, 5:33, 2:04, 4:02, 2:10. Cowan's extra point. Same with the penalty within his range. Knocks that one down to make it 28-0. 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns for the Red Raiders. Scored 14 points in the first quarter, 14 so far in the second quarter. It's looking for a McCauley score. McCauley playing in Knoxville against Knox Catholic. And of course, that will be the Red Raiders' opponent next week.
So here's Whit Muschamp rolling to his left, squares up, throws a dart.
Look at that.
Solid coverage.
Yeah. 4 jerseys there.
But number 7 is there for the touchdown.
Great throwing again. Good blocks to spring it. McCauley leads Knox Catholic 10-0 in the second quarter. Again, that game in Knoxville. McCauley ends the season with this game on the road at Knox Catholic, then at Lipscomb next week. A win tonight, and they get the top seed. Even if they tie because they have the tie-breaking edge over both Baylor and NBA. Kickoff will not be returned. So McCauley needs to win just one of their last 2 games to get that top seed and first-round bye. And Baylor would put themselves into that number 2 spot with a first-round bye if they can win tonight.
Jim, you have to feel like if you're NBA, priority 1 is killing off the final 2 minutes, 39 seconds of the first half, but they've been unable to put a lot of things together offensively. And
No.
you sure don't want to give Baylor the football back with any time left on the clock in the first half here.
Now they showed 3-man front and then brought Lowenberg up, then dropped him back. Brooklyn Davis. Look at him with a full head of speed.
Boy, what a well-blocked, well-executed play that time. Number 21 with a big gain.
He looks like a throwback to the
Really does.
the golden days of running backs, right?
Yes.
He's,
Reminds me a little bit of Lorenzo White or Alan Pinkett.
wow.
Great balance.
He's got some ball kind of built low to the
Yes.
ground. Not afraid to finish off a run, delivering a little punishment on the way. Picked up 14 on that last run. Sidesteps one. Look at that.
John Amofa Jr., number 48, folks, is a load and a true freshman.
Chow.
You have got to deal with number 48 to play that defense.
How'd you like some of these guys? I could face this guy 4 years in a row. Youch. Holds him to a yard on that first down play. Second down and 9. Big Red on their own 35-yard line. And 28-0. 28-0. Red Raiders on top. Play action. Hit from behind and sacked.
Big number 0, Quincy White from the left edge that time, just beat his man and drew a bullseye on the quarterback.
Mofo, who you're talking about, has 5 sacks, and Quincy White gets in on the action. You know what Baylor says right now? We're calling the timeout. We want the ball back. He got to the quarterback in a hurry. Quincy White.
Chris Brown's defense has been solid tonight, and they've dialed up the pressure as the lead has increased.
I mentioned this to you earlier. I was talking to Eric Kimry today on the phone in his office. And I asked him 2 or 3 questions. He goes, I don't know about defense. Ask Chris. He goes, when I hired Chris, I hired him for a reason. He handles the defense. And his assistant coach, he goes, he does the game plan. I don't even worry about it.
It's working.
And yeah, that's what you like, you know. Any boss anywhere, I hired you to do a job. Let me do the job.
Yes.
He hired him to do a job, and you know what he does? He lets him do the job.
Yes.
And I would say, you know, he probably got a satisfactory check on his, on his
I would think that
report
would,
card.
I think that would be in the S box. Yes.
State championships won.
State championship.
It's a thumbs up, right?
Absolutely.
3rd and 15 after the sack. Baylor wants more. They want the football back. To throw. In traffic and brought down again.
Oh,
They're just not built to throw the football.
I mean, number 48 delivered the final shot, but Hugh Price was in trouble from the snap on that play. So Amofa retakes the sack lead.
There you go. I like competition. I'm a big fan. Calling another timeout. So Baylor will get the possession. Right now there's 1:37 left to play in the half. 1:37 to play in the half. And again, that game in Knoxville that's so important to the district standings. Macaulay with a 10-0 lead over the Fighting Irish of Knox Catholic.
Jim, this is great clock management. Watch the pressure here.
Look at that.
That's Quincy White. Now, that's 1 sack, but they're also going to dial up some heat on that last play, and John Amofa Jr. finishes it, but it's pressure from the entire defensive line.
Again, they're just not set up to have someone drop back and long plays develop. I know they need points.
And now they need Walker Derryberry to uncork another 60-yard punt.
Yeah, pull out one of your magic ones. With 1:37 to play in the first half. Snap is a good one. Some pressure, and again, look how high he gets that kickoff. That's impressive. Whoa, bobbled a fair catch.
Tyler Rice had to cover some ground to get to that football,
Yes, he did.
but he was sure-handed when he got there.
I am guessing after a couple of them hit the ground, they said, you know what? We're losing 15 yards on the roll. Try and fair
Yes.
catch it and save us 15 yards. Don't return it. Don't take a pop.
And here you go. What a great opportunity for Baylor to do what they can do in the 2-minute drill with 1:30 left in the half.
So Eric Kimry tells Whit Muschamp, all right, you got 90 seconds. We're perfect 4 for 4 in drives so far tonight. They begin at the 42-yard line. Two receivers left and two right. Muschamp.
Penalty, Sox playing.
Might have been some movement once again. Again, Bryson, Rose, Teague, Edgeworth,
And they're going to walk it back in Baylor's direction, 5.
and Clifford on that offensive line. A little bit of a revamped line for this week. Kind of rebuilt the right side a little bit. Kind of same guys, but in different spots. Loss of 5, 1st and 15, but that's just giving Baylor more room to work so far tonight. Oh, high snap again. And on the far side to Amari Jefferson.
Amari Jefferson, who steps out of bounds.
It's got to make NBA feel bad. Jefferson just makes it look so easy. It's not
He
supposed
really
to.
does.
It's not supposed to be that
It's
easy.
not. Especially tonight. He is just gliding
Yes.
tonight.
You see him in the open field, and if you're on NBA, if you're in that secondary, I probably can't repeat what you're
No.
saying to yourself at that
He
point.
looks like he reminds me of Des Bryant tonight.
Muschamp with time. That's been one of the keys as well. Look at that.
Now that pass was well covered in traffic. He threw it with some steam on it. Incomplete that time to Cam Sparks.
But Muschamp has had time. It's got to start there, right?
Right. That time they only rushed 3, flooded the middle of the field. You know, sometimes, Jim, it's like pick your poison. If you contain the edge, the middle's open. That time they did both.
The middle has been open a lot so far tonight. From the 39, behind the sticks, it's 3rd down with 1:16 to play in the first half, and Baylor leading 28-0. Muschamp. I wondered if he felt that pressure for a moment. Throwing it on the run, working his way back and making the catch. A little hand checking going on that far sideline, but
One thing we've learned this season, if Max LeBlanc gets one hand on the football, he's catching it. That time he got 2.
he's going to win the physical battles most of the time, all the way down to the 26-yard line. And again, Muschamp, among other things, we've talked about arm strength and this, that, and the other, extending the play, giving yourself another opportunity, giving a chance for Max LeBlanc to get open, and then putting it on the dime. Play action. End zone, battle, off his hands.
That one overthrown. Had he underthrown it, that would have been an easy catch. And there's a flag in the end zone. I guess
Wow.
you're going to call pass interference. I didn't know if that ball was catchable.
I think both were looking back. I didn't see anything. I have to be honest. I didn't see anything
I didn't either.
PI egregious. Yeah, pass interference. So Baylor trying to score in this final minute of the game's first half, already with a 28-0 lead. Pass interference in the end zone.
This will be a pass interference penalty against NBA.
Down to the 13, where it's 1st and 10.
Gives Baylor a first down. The NBA 13.
First down and 10, 13-yard line. Flares it out to Sparks. Gets a block, breaks a tackle, dives his way in. Cam Sparks gets in on the action.
Got him in the flat. Cam just did the rest. Solid blocking again, as we've seen all season, Jim. Receivers blocking downfield. And there you see the results.
Talk about someone smelling the end zone. Once Sparks caught it, got a full head of steam. He wasn't to be denied. 13-yard touchdown reception by Cam Sparks.
Down on to attempt the extra point, but must sample home.
It is 34-0.
It was not, we did not see this coming.
No, I did not. We did not. I don't want to speak for you. I didn't see 35-0 at halftime. I
No.
really didn't. Because you kind of felt like NBA
would take the air out of the ball just enough to kind of make it kind of an ugly slugfest.
Which is what they wanted to do. And you kind of felt like they'd kind of turned a corner and figured out how they needed
they
to
are.
play to win. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Found their identity. Our identity is this: win time of possession, extended drives, keep the ball on the ground, limit the possessions. But let's say Cam Sparks, not to be designed, caught on a 16.
Absolutely wide open, and Zane Rastelli with a block downfield that sealed it.
How about shifting that body weight a little bit to get into the end zone?
Baylor has just been surgical in their offensive execution tonight.
Does that mean like impressive?
Effective, yes.
So how about that? They take possession with a minute and a half to play and score a touchdown with 39 seconds left to play in the game's first half. 51 yards, 5 plays. End over end kick. This will be returned by Davis. Right into the fray, right around the 20 or 21 yard line. .32 seconds to play in the half. Baylor 5 out of 5, 5 possessions, 5 touchdowns. 1 by Sparks, 2 by Jefferson, 2 by Mills Knight. Well, that's a nightmare scenario for the Big Red right here.
It's just tough for them to match up personnel-wise.
And they've got some players now.
They do. But, Jim, if you're going to guard Amari Jefferson, Cam Sparks on the edge, you're probably going to give up something in the middle. So here comes LeBlanc there. And if you get all 3 of those, you have Shakai Mills Knight, not to mention Zane Rastelli. There are a lot of weapons wearing red.
Yeah, Rastelli might be the unsung hero of that group. He does some of the dirty work, and the first half comes to an end. What about that? We're going to have a running clock.
Yes, we are, for the second week in a row.
Again, that mercy rule in the second half, if you're up 30 or more. I knew we were going to have a running clock last week. I had no idea there would be a running clock this week. But how about 14 points in the first quarter? What do you do for an encore? 21 points in the second quarter and a 35-0 lead for the Red Raiders at halftime. We're going to go into Spirit Week in just a second. Scoring went like this, like I said, 5 for 5 for Baylor. Opening possession, Red Raiders scored at the 6:27 mark, capping an 80-yard, 13-play drive. Shakai Mills Knight on a 1-yard touchdown run, 6:27 mark, and it's 7-0 Baylor. Then the big play, Muschamp to Amari Jefferson, 69 yards on the second possession. Baylor gets in the end zone at the 3:15 mark, going 93 yards, 2:04 time of possession, and 4 plays, 14-0. 21-0 early in the second quarter, 6:54 mark. Baylor goes 89 yards, 10 plays. Mills Knight, 3-yard touchdown run, his second touchdown of the night. Not to be outdone, Red Raiders score again, 2:39 mark. Amari Jefferson, 24-yard touchdown pass, his second TD of the night. Baylor goes up 28-0, and then with 39 seconds to play in the half, 13-yard touchdown reception by Cam Sparks. Baylor goes 58 yards in 5 plays. Perfect in the half. 5 for 5, 35-0 lead by the Red Raiders at halftime. And all in all, a pretty impressive lead, pretty impressive first 24 minutes of football for Baylor against one of their arch rivals, Montgomery Bell Academy.
Absolutely. I mean, 5 for 5. You score on every possession in the first half. You overcome penalties, and you make it look easy, Jim.
And that would be one of the things that Eric Kimry talks about. Probably too many penalties in the first half. Red Raiders able to overcome 5 possessions, 5 touchdowns, 35-0. Red Raiders with the lead over the Big Red at halftime. Now let's sit back and enjoy the halftime festivities here at Haywood Stadium as the Red Raiders will enjoy a 35-0 lead at the half.
right team.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights in the first half. You see Muschamp doing a pretty good job getting that high snap, right?
Boy, my goodness. Great catch by Zane Rastelli. That really moved the sticks late in the second quarter, kept that drive alive. And again, textbook efficiency from the Baylor offense. You see NBA trying to bring some pressure. Muschamp reads it. Max LeBlanc absolutely wide open. That's inside the 5. And then they turn it over to number 1, Shakai Mills-Knight, gets behind that offensive line and walks into the end zone. Same quarter. Muschamp, really one of the most impressive plays down here. Watch him square up, throw in the corner, and in between double coverage, Amari Jefferson is there for the touchdown.
But did you see those
That
two
was a
blocks?
24, yes.
One by Mills-Knight, one by Cam Sparks.
Absolutely. And then here is Quincy White with a sack defensively. 5 for 5. They score on every possession in the first half. Here's the final, and you see a great block there by Max LeBlanc and Zane Rastelli that springs Shakai Mills-Knight. That kind of execution leads to a 35-0 halftime lead.
Yeah, I think most people up here in press box land were saying, I expected a Baylor win, and I did. I didn't expect a Baylor blowout. That's where we are at halftime. I could change. I was going to say change in a hurry in the second half. I'm not sure NBA does things in a hurry.
NBA starts on offense. They've got to have a touchdown, but they've got to have some help, either with penalties or turnovers, to really flip this thing around, because they have had no answers at all for the Baylor offense.
They have shown some signs, and like we said, that running back Brooklyn Davis, return man, pretty good player, but they haven't found anyone to complement him as of yet. Durrett has made a couple of nice receptions so far tonight, but they haven't done things in a consistent manner to keep on moving.
And, Jim, the clock is not their friend. They have to work too hard to get into the end zone.
Yeah.
A great point of run. So they need 5 TDs, or at least 4, just to get back in the mix. And they have to work too hard to think that they can really get that accomplished in a half of football without some turnovers from Baylor. So watch them to be very aggressive here in this opening series. You got to get some kind of points here in this opening series. And then even they might bring maybe some heat on Whit Muschamp and maybe start tackling the football a little bit more to try and strip the ball loose and gain an extra possession.
Yeah, the Big Red just coming back on the field, so they had zeros on the clock, so the second half will not get underway on time. The big score that Baylor fans and NBA fans are interested in is McCallie playing at Knox Catholic. They're at halftime, and McCallie with a 10-3 lead. Knox Catholic, despite their record, is pretty darn good and have given teams a pretty good battle so far this year. So McCallie with a 1-touchdown lead over Knox Catholic. If McCallie wins tonight, they are the number 1 seed, regardless of anything else. McCallie one win in their last 2 games, and they will be the number 1 seed and receive a first-round bye. The winner of this game will get the number 2, will finish second. They will also get a first-round bye, and those 2 teams, number 1 if it is McCallie and number 2 if it is Baylor, they will not meet until the matchup everyone wants, right? Finley Stadium in the championship game.
And, Jim, you're talking about Knox Catholic. We will see them here in 7 days.
Yeah, good group, good team, hard-fought team, and giving McCallie everything they ask for right now, just a 1-touchdown game. And let's be honest, McCallie has rolled over a whole lot of people this year.
That is a surprising score, maybe even more surprising than this score.
All right, so what do you do if you're Baylor in the second half? I certainly attack at least midway through the third quarter.
Absolutely. I would start it like at 0-0 and stay aggressive on both sides. Their plan has worked perfectly. don't give up anything cheap, and make sure you know, special teams is a place where they can get back into things. So cover your flank there and just keep executing like they've done. You can expect NBA to try and move the football through the air a little bit more than they did in the first half, although they weren't ineffective, Jim. They just a 10-yard pass is countered with Baylor. They can throw a 40-yard pass with the same kind of efficiency.
Yeah, just think that NBA didn't stop the Red Raiders at all in the first half. I don't think they didn't ever 1, 2, 3 and out because they were never thwarted. They scored every possession.
And that's despite some penalties, some holding penalties that really put Baylor behind the chains, but every time they answered, usually, Jim, in the middle of the football field. If I'm NBA, I've got to take away those easy throws in the middle of the field.
And that middle of the field, especially for Max LeBlanc, I thought tonight was open.
Outstanding.
From the get-go.
Yes.
They recognized that from the get-go.
Yeah, they saw that on tape and went to work, and you're seeing the fruits of that labor all week tonight.
So that offensive staff, led by Eric Kemry, the offensive coordinator and head coach, that's one of those things you see on film. Okay, I think we have an advantage here. Here's how they play this. We're going to attack it this way. And they came out blazing, attacking the middle of the field, right near that linebacker spot, 12 yards down from the line of scrimmage.
Just threw over them.
Yeah. And Max LeBlanc is probably the perfect guy in that scenario.
Just has a nose for finding the open spots in every defense, and so sure-handed, Jim, as we've seen all year.
Briggs Cherry getting a little warm-up action right now. And the other thing we saw, let's see if this is anything, Shakai Mills-Knight was sitting there on the training table and got that ankle retaped a little bit. Didn't look like he was in any pain or there was any injury or anything like that, but
probably precautionary, but at the same time, if you get the numbers if you can light this scoreboard up at least one more time, maybe you sit number one.
You'd like the chance to sit number one.
Yes.
If you have the chance. If he's not 100%.
NBA won the coin toss at the beginning of the game.
Remember, Montgomery Bell Academy won the toss, opted to defer, and so the Big Red will have possession number 1 of the second half. And again, you start talking about how many possessions are you going to get. They're down by 5 scores right now. You're going to get 5 possessions. You need at least 5. And that may not happen.
Well, if NBA is going to get back into it, this would be a place to start on special teams on the opening kickoff.
NBA had 5 possessions first half and went 0 for 5. Not going to be returned. And so the Big Red made it to the championship game last year and lost, of course, to the Red Raiders at Finley Stadium. They played 2 close games. Baylor won 38-34 in the championship game. NBA won the first meeting on the 21st last year in Nashville, winning 42-34.
And Jim, as that clock moves, we're reminded 35-0. The mercy rule is in effect, and nobody expected to see that tonight.
That means running clock if it's a 30-point margin or more. Putting it up in the air, nice catch. Jumps up in the air. I'll give Price credit for hanging in there that time.
And Oakley McFerrin on the other end with just a solid reception. Lots of contact on both ends of that play.
So it is a moving clock if the margin is 30 or more. Now, if NBA scores this trip and makes it only a 28-point game, then the clock will stop when players go out of bounds or incomplete pass.
So there's a lot of pressure on the Montgomery Bell Academy offense, to say the least.
Yeah, they need to score this trip to stop that clock.
Yes.
And try to get back in the game. 18-yard pickup, 1st and 10, 38-yard line. Davis up the middle. I don't think he even hit the 40.
Quincy White came in from the left side, but really, number 48 again, John Amofa Jr. and a host of his teammates just closing the door on that play.
What do coaches say all the time? You get pressure with 3, you got it going on.
You do.
Now, sometimes they bring Lowenberg at a linebacker spot, mixing him up on that defensive line, but basically it's a 3-man front with White, Amofa, and White, Damani, and Quincy.
NBA has some kind of question that the officials have called a timeout here.
Yeah, again, the clock will stop on timeouts. Either team calling a timeout or obviously in this situation, the officials calling a timeout.
Well, they got that apparently straightened out. But they have not wound the clock yet.
The officials will set it ready for play, and then it will start to run once again. We've already played 2 minutes and 1 second in this second half. So as we
well, basically, Jim, they got away with a free time. Now it's running. Okay.
As we experienced last week, a running clock moves pretty quickly. 12 minutes goes in a hurry. 2nd down and 8 with the mercy rule clock running here at Haywood Stadium. They move both the tight ends left side, pull it back. Hand it off on the play action. And again, you can't get your number one weapon going. You can't get that running game going.
They brought some serious leverage to that left side, Jim, but Baylor was just having none of it.
Picked up 3 yards. Big 3rd down and 5 here in the early going second half. NBA trying to get back in the game. Currently a 35-0 advantage. Quarterback for the Big Red, just a sophomore, 6'5", 185. Hasn't thrown a touchdown pass yet this year. They do not have a touchdown reception, touchdown pass by any quarterback so far this season. Movement. The Baylor defensive line applauding. That might be a 5-yard walk-off.
Boy, what an interesting play that time. They sent Brooklyn Davis to the near side from the as a receiver.
You know, you'd almost think you'd be in a hurry-up offense type of situation.
You need to.
If you need to score 5 times.
But, Jim, if you're not built to do that, you're not going to be effective doing that.
Fletcher Shirley, the tight end, checks out. Price, the quarterback, like I said, 6'5", sophomore. Drops back, rushed again, hit again, and sacked again.
Just swallowed up. Absolutely swallowed up that time.
Sending some pressure that time. And
we had a host of folks in Mofa Jr.,
Nelson McKnight,
Rendesi, and Nelson McKnight, and maybe a couple other folks involved. They have just put a vice grip on this NBA offense.
Yeah, that was a family reunion right there. Kick.
Different kicker for NBA.
And that does not get
not
the
a
height
good result. That was
Derryberry got a moment ago.
That was the place kicker, Liam Hackett, with the kick that time. And he was not in Walker Derryberry's area code in terms of punt efficiency.
What do we say? It a 61-yard punt earlier tonight?
Yes.
Those don't come along very often. So let's say Baylor takes over. We'll just call it the 7-minute mark on a running clock in a mercy rule second half. Again, mercy rule, a 30-point deficit in the second half. Mercy rule is automatic. We had it in the first half last week because both coaches agreed. Mills Knight gets the call. Bounces off 1, picks up 5, picks up 10, picks up maybe 11 yards.
Balance, vision, and patience. Just kept moving, kept his feet moving, read his blocks, and then cut up field.
I think they're going to say just shy of the first down. So the drive begins on the 36. He picks up 9 yards on first down. And Baylor's going to accommodate right now and say, you know what, yeah, let's run that clock. Let's limit possessions and get ready for the final game of the regular season next week. Did I just say that?
It's hard to believe.
3 receivers far side, including LeBlanc, who split. Muschamp handing it off to Mills Knight once again. Mills Knight has the first down.
Boy, a lot of confusion. It looked like before the snap, solid execution after the snap.
Woodcock, the linebacker, he is a good player for NBA.
Solid.
Yeah. Fills that gap nicely,
He
brings
really
down
does.
Mills Knight. I mentioned Mills Knight getting taped up. He's bigger than you kind of think he is. He's not a small child. Play action, complete to Amari Jefferson. There he goes again. Cruise control, and we'll pick up a first down to the 40-yard line.
I thought that play might go for a loss.
I did too.
Jefferson just turned on the afterburners, and it was well blocked, Jim, again in the middle of the field.
Is he always the coolest guy in the room, you think?
Absolutely. Well, he's very, he's very patient tonight.
Yes.
He's not
Yes.
pressing anything.
They're blocking for him, and he's waiting for
He's
those
just
blocks.
waiting.
Oh, offensive line we mentioned revamped a little bit tonight. They've had a couple issues, but they've given that guy no time. Throwing it down the run and overthrown.
I don't know if Amari saw that pass. Let's credit Max LeBlanc with a solid block that time on the right side, which gave Whit Muschamp time to unleash that throw.
Yeah, some of the blocking has been, I think, pretty impressive. And I mean, picking up blocks on a blitz. Mills Knight, Cam Sparks have both done that tonight. You mentioned downfield. Rastelli has made some nice blocks, helping his fellow receivers pick up good yards after contact. 2nd and 10 from the 40. Mills Knight hit behind the line of scrimmage and might have lost a yard or two.
Flag, too.
It's going to be a 3rd and 11.
3 flags.
3rd and 12, and now we're going to figure out what the...
Whatever happened, it was obvious when you have 3 flags.
At least we have a consensus, right?
Personal foul on Baylor.
So that will be 15. Burning through the 3rd quarter, like they said, clock continues to run even during this penalty walk-off. Baylor's going to snap the football on their own side of the field after that personal foul penalty.
That is something Coach Kimry is not going to be happy about. You go from 1st and 10 at the 40 to, 3rd and the 3rd in a bunch at the 43.
10, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, 27. 3rd and 27. Is that what they have on the board? Or am I just guessing?
They still have 3rd and 10 up.
Muschamp. Pressure. Throws it middle of the field and incomplete.
Maybe the one pass
Yeah.
that Muschamp wanted back. He threw it kind of across his body. They wanted a PI call, but I don't know if that ball was really catchable. Might have even been tipped.
That was one of those. Muschamp felt that pressure. Probably had to unload a little bit quicker than he wanted to, but for one of the few times tonight, good pressure by the Big Red.
And Amari Jefferson was surrounded.
Yes, he was. He draws a crowd. Like I said, coolest guy in the room. You got to draw a crowd, right?
And this is the first punt of the evening for Baylor.
Did they wake him up?
I
Hey,
think they did. Coop, it's you.
punting? Where's my tee? Where's my holder? Better hurry. He does. Takes a little bit of a Baylor roll. It looks like that was going to check out of bounds for a
Boy.
moment.
Once
Took
again,
a little bit of a right turn, and
Cooper count. What a weapon.
there's only 90 seconds to play in this quick-moving, clock not stopping 3rd quarter. Yeah, Cooper Cowan, they tell me, pick where you want to go to school next year. Pick a college. They'll take you. Got a leg, no question. 2 pretty good punters, 2 pretty good kickers tonight.
Yes,
And you know what? Not a lot of high schools are blessed with that.
they're not.
And
I agree with you. And, not just distance, but placement,
yeah,
height.
you talk about what's going to make a difference when teams are so close talent-wise in the postseason. That is. Brooklyn Davis diving forward across the 20. Drive begins at the 14-yard line, and we're in the final minute of play, 3rd quarter. Mercy clock running right now because the deficit is 30 or more. It's 35-0, Baylor with the lead over Montgomery Bell. McCauley had a 1-touchdown lead at halftime in Knoxville, taking on the Fighting Irish of Knox Catholic.
There's a 2-second difference between the main clock and the play clock, so they have to run a play here.
Brooklyn Davis picks up the first down across the 25. See, for MBA to have a chance here tonight, he had to have a huge night.
And actually, Jim, that's Isaiah Perry, the
Gotcha.
junior. They have made a change, at least for that play, at running back, and we're done with the third quarter.
Already. So they'll get it set, and then the clock will start to run in the fourth quarter as well. And again, that mercy rule is a 30-point deficit in the second half. If that's the case, if the deficit is 30 or more, the clock runs. It can stop if either team calls a timeout or there's an injury timeout, but the clock does not stop if a player goes out of bounds or there's an incomplete pass.
And as we go to the fourth quarter, this is our traditional Baylor light show.
See, I now know that's called paparazzi. You know that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we all know that now.
I think we learned that the first week. I
Yes,
think that was week 1.
but for me, retention's always been a problem. Unless it was
Repetition.
water. Unless
Absolutely.
it was water.
I'm the same way.
I'll get it. It's that retention.
Took me a
thing.
couple of games for it to lock in. Yes.
So 1st and 10.
And I think that is Isaiah Perry with another
It
carry.
is. So they keep Perry in the game.
Isaiah Perry carries again.
Now here comes Brooklyn Davis. He takes 2 plays off, back in the huddle.
So they have a bye week on the 13th, and then we'll play Brentwood Academy, I think, on a Thursday night, right before the playoffs, which makes some sense. If those teams are going postseason, play on a Thursday, get a little extra rest before you head into the postseason. That's a great rivalry in Nashville, as our Nashville viewers know. Gain of a couple.
That was a forceful run, folks. 21 had a serious head of steam.
Well, you could tell why they like him so much. Brooklyn, what's not to like, right?
That's right. About a 5-yard gain.
And he's gotten those types of gains when there's been nothing. He's made 5 yards out of nothing a whole lot tonight. Big third down play right here. They overload the left side, but MBA's, I think they're going to call a timeout.
Let's see.
Motion stops play.
Oh, okay.
Offsides on Baylor. That double movement there drew Baylor offsides.
Got a little jumpy, and that means a first down.
First down at the 39.
One of the few first downs. Think about that. I bet they have less than 5. Less than 5 is my guess. Just haven't been able to move the football or stop the Red Raiders. Stopped them one time so far tonight. Hitting the backfield, bounces off. Look at that. Squares up. Look, I'm going to take you. I'm going to punish you. He's had to do so much of it by himself. And Nelson McKnight, I don't think he minds any contact either. Come on.
I think 16 enjoyed it.
21's a football player, and I think Nelson McKnight, yeah, come on. Bring it on. Second down. I think both of those guys like the game. Enjoy a little contact every so often. Clock running with 9.5 minutes and counting left to play in a 35-0 lead for the Red Raiders. NBA with the possession. Single set back deep. Rolls out far side, throws it on the run. Pass. Ouch!
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
What a shot
He's down.
by Josh Hampton. That is the biggest shot of the night for sure. They brought Fletcher Shirley and Blake Ragsdale to that right side, and that's where Hugh Price went with the football.
I think it was McFerrin that caught that, number 5.
And Oakley McFerrin
Wow.
held on and took the shot of the night.
Give him credit. I think they're calling a timeout.
And I don't know if the NBA coaching staff wants it targeting. They are not happy
that there was
on
no
that
flag.
sideline.
That was a pop now. Briggs Cherry, the question is, I wouldn't be surprised if he went in next possession.
Sure,
It was a hard hit. It was a hard hit.
it was. I can't. To your point, Jim, that we talk about a lot, that was so fast. I don't think he led with the helmet. It appeared to be more of the shoulder,
Yes.
but that was one heck of a collision. And NBA is filing. They're filing their verbal argument right now on that sideline.
And the verbal is loud. If we were texting, there'd be a
Yes.
lot of exclamation points in capital letters. I'm sure that man, I don't know if I was watching the coach on the glasses, and he might be slightly frustrated because their game plan went away early.
It never happened, Jim.
Yeah.
In terms of defense, they just have not. They're
They're
forced
still on
one
he's
point
still on
tonight.
the officials.
He's all over it.
Yes, he is. But
Well, he's trying to protect his players and also, Jim, protect his team.
I think there are
he's
times,
got to keep them bought in.
and I think you have to show at times, I'm fighting for you.
Yes,
I'm still fighting for you.
100%
Yeah.
agree with that statement.
And you don't think there's a maybe 10% frustration thrown in
Oh,
there?
no. Let's be honest, Jim. Nobody expected this.
No.
Nobody. And that's a proud program. You go from the playing for the state championship and losing, and you come back to that same team's house, and it's a mercy rule game in the fourth quarter.
Marty Uverard, the head coach, in his 24th season as a head coach, 13th in NBA, 2 state titles, already in the Coaches Hall of Fame in the state. So, yeah. I guess when he gets upset, officials should probably listen,
Little
right?
credibility.
Yeah. And I would say this, he's got over 160 wins in his career. He
Kind of been there, done that.
He hasn't done this very often.
No.
He hasn't been on the short end of a 35-0 game very often in his career.
Probably been on the other end of quite a few of those. Isaiah Perry now checks in. Brooklyn Davis checks out.
I asked Eric Kimmery, I said, as a head coach, have you ever had 42 points? Did you ever score 42 in the first quarter? He goes, one other time. He knew exactly. Look at that little stutter step look. Didn't get to the stick. Had to get inside the 35-yard line, and I believe was denied that. Clock continues to run in this fourth quarter, about 7:25 left to play. So I would say now NBA's playing for the Brentwood game. Find something positive. Sets up, throws, incomplete.
Wanted Blake Ragsdale, but that just was not a well-executed, not a well-thrown football.
Tried to throw on the run and set and throw. Rafin Kuzman checks in the game. Remember at first said, let's go over the pronunciation, coach. He goes, I just call him Rafi. Okay.
Thanks, Coach, for the help. Appreciate you. Anyone else I can talk to for that information?
Yeah, exactly. Let's call him Rafi. Some hugs all the way around.
Visit the concession stand. Won't be open for very
I'm sure a lot of those quote-unquote number 2s didn't think they were getting in tonight's game.
No.
Last week, yeah, they were ready to go. I might get some playing time tonight. Yes. I think everyone understood that's probably what was going to happen. I'm not sure anyone had that on their script for tonight. I know I didn't.
That's a time. We're in the midst of a timeout by Montgomery Bell Academy. I was wondering why the clock was not running.
Okay, how about this? Knox Catholic 13, Macaulay 10 in the third quarter.
Wow.
Like I said, Knox Catholic doesn't have a great record, but they have played everyone really well. Knox Catholic's just 1-2 in the district, 5-3 overall. Fourth down, I don't think he got it.
I don't think he did either.
No, he didn't. Ran right into that defensive wall that have done a pretty darn good job
And that pretty much puts a bow on this one.
of stopping Brooklyn Davis all night long, and the junior couldn't pick up the 2 yards for the first down with under 6 minutes now to play in the game with the clock running.
And you see Brooks Cherry checking in at quarterback for Baylor.
Yeah, I think Red Auerbach is lighting up the cigar right now, you think?
Yes.
Let's just say 5:30 left to play in the game. Running clock. And the Red Raiders have Knox Catholic next week right here. There's Cody Davenport. First carry of the night. Kai Mills night, couple of touchdowns, good night. Cody Davenport picks about 5 yards on first down. Drive starts at the 36, and he takes it to the 41. Second down, 5 yards to go.
Gain of 5 on that play, 2nd and 5.
Neither team, I would say, in any hurry right now.
Nope.
Under 5 minutes
It
to
will
play in the
be
game.
A long drive back to Nashville and a shockingly easy W for Baylor.
Wide receivers each side. Cherry flares it out near side. Pass complete.
That is Alex Leclerc, the junior.
To Alexis Leclerc.
Alexis Leclerc.
Correct. He's from, Canada. Quebec, I believe.
Not much forward progress on that play.
We haven't had a turnover either way so far tonight,
And
am I
then
right?
there you did it.
Jinx.
There you did it.
Is that
you
the jinx?
jinxed it right there.
There's only 4 minutes left. I'm feeling confident. But again, that game plan for Eric Kimmery and company, if you can do A, B, C, and D, it starts with turnovers, kicking game, no mistakes, kicking game, no turnovers so far tonight. Yeah, I thought they had the snap count wrong. I think the slot receiver was moving forward when the snap was made.
That's about the only negative
Yeah, probably too
you
many
could put
penalties.
on Baylor tonight, the offense. Too many penalties, some holds, false starts.
A couple of high snaps.
Yes.
But you have to dig a little bit. Hard to be too critical when you're up 35.
I
or
was
nothing. Am I
going to
right?
say, yes.
Let me be that upset every week,
It's
right?
small price to pay.
3rd and 11 from the 35-yard line. And 3:15 to play in the game. Briggs Cherry got some playing time last week. Throws long. And
Oh, my
incomplete.
goodness. And Zane Rastelli lost the football. I mean, he could have made that catch. He lost it, turned twice, turned to his left, and back to his right.
I think Coach Kimmery told me that Muschamp only had like 7 snaps last week. I mean, 7 snaps. He's only-
7?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
Deep to receive is Hutton Durrett.
Durrett back deep for Baylor's second punt of the night. And 2:35, 2.5 minutes left to play in the game. Running clock in the second half because of the mercy rule, which is a 30-point
Oh,
deficit.
this is going to stop. Yeah.
I think someone had the snap count wrong.
Josh Hampton was ready. number
Maybe
number,
too
number
ready.
8 was rolling.
Josh Hampton detected offside on the play.
It's not how Josh wanted to hear Dan Kennedy call his name on
That's-
the PA system, right? I was going to let him be anonymous. Under 2 minutes. 4th down. Using all that play clock. That's smart. Bam. Rugby style. That's smart because he knew one of the things that could not get you beat, I don't think anymore, but if you have a big return or something like that, so they made it as difficult as possible just to receive that punt. They always tell you, don't try and catch a bouncing football. Don't do it. Few good things could happen. And so now 1:14 left to play in the game. Wow, convincing win for the Red Raiders. Don't think they don't want that shutout either. I've said that before.
I agree.
I know the margins, they say they don't matter. You get a chance for a shutout, yeah. You want,
Every defense wants a shutout.
yeah. Your numbers go way up. In the secondary, but he only picks up yardage up to about the 35-yard line, about a 7-yard pickup on 1st down. And
This will probably be the last play
I
of
was
this
gonna say,
game.
there might be 2, but I don't think there'll be 3. We were at 30 seconds left to play in the game. You're right, this probably is it right here. He gets the 1st down at the 40, but nothing more than that with 10 seconds.
And there's no need to run another play. What a spectacular effort on both sides of the football by the Baylor Red Raiders. Their best game of the year.
Eric Kimry says, we're built for November. Got one more game in October, then November, then the postseason.
The building looks nice.
Yeah, if they're built for November, and
There
right
are
now,
some fireworks ahead.
yeah, Macaulay's losing. Macaulay's down against Knox Catholic. It's good news and bad news in that because, that Knox Catholic's pretty darn good, and they're the next opponent next week. 35-0 your final score. Red Raiders, for the second week in a row, do most of the damage in the first half, all the damage in the first half here tonight. 35-0 the final score. Then close out the regular season next week with the Fighting Irish coming to town. Well, congratulations all the way around. Red Raiders with a win, so that's back-to-back victories. Life Christian Academy 49-10 last week, and then a 35-0 victory here tonight, knocking off one of their district rivals, claiming the victory over the Big Red of Montgomery Bell Academy. 35-0 the final score. Scored on their first 5 possessions of the game, led 35-0 at halftime, and did what they have to do, that is keep the Big Red off the scoreboard in the second half. Please join us. We all celebrate the win with the Baylor alma mater. $35-0 the final score, so Baylor claims another victory. Victory number 7 of the year, and here's how it unfolded tonight.
First touchdown of the night on the opening possession. Shakai Mills Knight, a 1-yard run, caps off an 80-yard, 13-play drive.
And then Amari Jefferson is going to separate from his defender. He will go 69 yards on the pass from Whit Muschamp, 93 yards in 4 plays, 2 minutes, 4 seconds. And we would not be done. Muschamp back at the controls, high snap, in a bit of trouble, but not for long. Zane Rastelli with a catch to extend a drive there. Solid execution. And that sets up the Red Raiders offense in business again. Little pressure from the left side. Muschamp sizes it up. Max LeBlanc wide open. That's inside the 5. And then we're going to go on the ground again. Shakai Mills-Knight, this time a 3-yard run, 10 plays, 89 yards, 4 minutes, 2 seconds time of possession. And really one of the most impressive plays of the night here. Muschamp pushed to his left, squares up, throws. Number 7, Amari Jefferson is there. So much for double coverage. Another touchdown. 76 yards, 5 plays. That pass covers 24 yards, and then the defense turns up the heat. Quincy White with the big sack as Baylor would close the door defensively and celebrate offensively. Shakai Mills-Knight, great blocks downfield. Another easy touchdown, 5 for 5 in the first half with touchdowns. They lead it 35-0 at the half. NBA unable to muster much offensively. And the pop of the night right here. Boom! Josh, number 8, Josh Hampton lowering the boom on that play. It was that kind of night on both sides of the football for the Red Raiders, who close it out with a mercy rule 35-0 victory.
Yeah, if you want to peek at tournament time, that's what the Red Raiders are doing. One more game in the regular season. That's at home next week. So we think the Red Raiders, what they wanted to do tonight or after the break, they wanted to get going once again. They won last week, won convincingly here tonight, and now putting themselves in that first round bye situation. We'll talk to you next week. Knox Catholic. Our coverage begins at 7 o'clock on the stream with Baylor Game Day, starting at 7 o'clock next Friday. For our group, everyone have a good Friday night.